So the Penn State defense, lights out. The offense, okay, I guess. Uh, Once again, I'm Tim Aiden, Box Your Diaries, writer editor. I'm joined by my trusty colleague Ellie Moretta Felice. Ellie, say hello to everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Yes. Penn State wins 24-zip over Indiana. It is the first time in 21 years that the Hoosiers have been shut out. So that streak where a person that could go have a drink at a bar right about now, maybe drowning their sorrows over the streak coming to an end. But I guess initial thoughts for me, it's just the defense. Obviously you pitch a shutout. I think that essentially speaks for itself. But it was good to see them rattle Michael Penix early and often. They didn't really let him get into a rhythm. Aside from maybe one promising drive that ended with a lovely interception by Joey Porter Jr. Eventually, Penix took a bad. I think his leg had been bothered. I think something had been bothering him most of the game, but I think he took a shot on his sack early in the second half, and he was favoring his throwing shoulder, and he was done for the night. So Jack Tuttle, the backup, came in and it didn't really fare a whole lot better. There was one promising drive that ended with a field goal being blocked, which, yes, hashtag kicking us for quitters, which Indiana did. That's the closest they really came to scoring the rest of the night. Tuttle did get them into Penn State territory one more time, but then threw a pick to Jair Brown, who now has, I believe, 3 picks on the year. So good on him. The offense, on the other hand, just it was good to see. I guess they kind of sort of established a running game. Kevon Lee had a nice 44-yard scamper, which set up a touchdown. And I'll put down the scrolling thing down there. But just to me, it just seemed like there was a little too much shuffling going on. For all the talk of James Franklin saying they were going to ride the hot hand at running back, that really wasn't the case. It seemed like every possession there was a different back in there, including guys like Noah Kane, who, man, I feel bad saying this, but he just should not be out there right now. He just does not look anywhere near 100%. Not like the Noah Kane that we know and love. And Cliff in the passing game, just a little, he did throw for 3 touchdowns. So you got to give him credit there. But it just seemed like the interception they threw, and yes, that is the first interception. His third of the year, but the first one that's actually his fault. It seemed like he was a little reluctant to take some downfield shots after that. There's a lot of short passes to trying to get to John Dotson in space and all, but things just seemed a bit off offensively. Now they did enough in the end to keep, if the defense the way they're playing is, they did enough to keep them at bay. So credit to that, and kudos to Jordan Stout for the nailing a 50-yard field goal, which curved nicely for the uprights when it looked like it was going to be shanked again. Ellie, your thoughts?
Yeah, so it was going to be inevitable for the offense to have an off night. And if you can call a 24-point outing where the offense never really looked like they couldn't do things, sure, there were some stall drives, but let's say an off night in again, where Sean Clifford threw a proper interception and everyone thought that the Clifford of last year was coming back. So it turned out, false alarm. He settled down, finished 17 of 33. So a little bit over 50%. He was over 70% for the year. So I kind of expected for the offense to have an off night. And I'm glad that this off night came against a team that themselves couldn't do anything on offense, because the meat of the schedule only gets meatier, and all of the things that will go on tape tonight. Um, s- Things that will need to be fixed, right, or addressed. Like you said, um, maybe giving Noah Kane less carries moving forward might be one of those things. We'll see. Maybe giving Jonathan Sutherland fewer snaps with the starters might be another one of those. We'll see. But overall, if the Nittany Lions were going to have a game where they looked disjointed, I mean, I don't even want to say that on offense, right? It may as well be tonight, in a game where, we're talking about Noah Kane, but I'm actually feeling like maybe Indiana should do Michael Penix the courtesy of putting him to pasture now, because the poor guy is falling apart like right before our eyes, and it's starting to be a little sad. He had so much promise, and I am not an Indiana fan. I don't claim to speak for them, but as an outsider who has no ill will nor roots for Indiana, it just looks like the Michael Penix experiment is over, and it would be depressing to see his career end in yet another season-ending injury. Obviously, probably Michael Penix himself is not going to opt to give up the starting spot, but like at this point, it just it just hurts to see how he looks um, when he goes out there. And I will say this: um, the schedule for Indiana actually lets up considerably moving forward. So maybe they look actually pretty good. Maybe they'll look good against Maryland team that we just now found out is the Maryland team we all know and love. Rutgers kind of sucks as well as Michigan and Ohio State showed in a couple of weeks, and they still have Purdue. So it is possible that now that Penix isn't dealing with defenses of the caliber of Iowa, Cincinnati, Penn State, etc., he looks a little better. But in the first 5 games, if you take out Western Kentucky and Idaho, it's been rough. But obviously, you can't take out Western Kentucky and Idaho. You got to count those two. But the one thing that I did enjoy out of this game is that Penn State actually ran the ball and didn't look hopeless out there. They actually, I think they went for over 200 yards on the ground, which it was sight for sore eyes, and I hope that they are able to um, build on this and make the offense a little bit more balanced moving forward. Yes, I loved all the explosive passing plays in the previous 4 games, but I also love the fact that we could sustain drives without having to rely solely Clifford and Jahan Dotson. So definitely good to see that they can run the ball if they absolutely must. And of course, definitely good to see that zero on the opponent's scoreboard.